Welcome to the Real Estate Titans podcast. I am your host, Frank Ray, with my co-host, of course, Katie Lewis. And we have a very special guest with us here, a friend of mine, a friend of Katie's, and a friend of the show, Sam Metteer. How's it going, Sam? How you doing, my friend?
I am fantastic. I'm excited to be here.
If you were any better, there'd have to be 11 of you. Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
Maybe even 12.
There you go. Hey, Sam's been at this only 2.5 years, yet he is a Titan. Katie, Sam's a Titan, and he's only been doing it.
He's a top newbie. I love it.
It's,
yeah. He got in and goes, no, I'm going straight to the top.
Yeah, like, I'm just going to, excuse me, out of the way, please, going to the front of the line. Right, yeah. Okay, so 2.5 years, work with Keller Williams. Your area is up in tell me the area again. You're up in the...
Greater Sacramento region.
Greater Sacramento region. Okay, good enough. And let's just talk about business. Listen to this. 23 units for $14 million in the past 12 months in this market. Just to be clear, it's May 2023, just to give perspective to anybody that's watching. So, Sam, those are notable numbers for most, right? I mean, there's an awful lot of real estate agents out there right now that are wishing they did 23 in the past 12 months, right?
True.
So, very, very good. So, Katie, I think does he deserve the round of applause?
Yes.
Round of applause. Round of applause. There you go. Courtesy bow. Very well done, Sam. So, Sam, we're just going to fire some questions to try and get into that noggin of yours and figure out how in the heck you're getting this done, if that's okay.
Love
All
it.
right, so, Katie, what do you got first?
Let's dive in. Ready? All right. What strategies have been most effective for you in generating leads and closing deals?
Good question. My favorite thing to do is open houses.
Okay.
I believe that face-to-face is the quickest way to build trust. And when you build trust, then people want to spend time with you and want to use you. So open houses has been the easiest for me by far to get good right now business, but also right now business isn't the most important part of your business. You need to make sure that you have a sustainable business. So I also really lean heavily into care calling my people. So anyone that I have that's in my database, I call them, I check in on them, I find out how they're doing, I find out where they're at, and I find out how I can support them in their lives. And usually that eventually turns into a conversation about real estate, and I find out how I can support them in that. And that's typically the most effective way that I generate leads, long-term and short-term.
Fantastic. What a great answer. Like, it's perfect. Hey, but let me ask you this. When you say open houses, can you do me a favor and walk me through and the listeners / viewers through like your process in holding an open house? Like, how do you do it? And is it always a listing of your own, or do you do other people's listings? And then how do you go from I'm going to sit in open house to I've just finished my open house? Like, and what's in between, if you don't mind sharing kind of like that process?
Absolutely. So open houses start before the open house. Typically our team. So first, we typically only do our team's open houses. We have enough listings to keep those in-house.
Okay.
The process starts right away. As soon as we're doing an open house, we'll find out about the house itself, learn any of the history. We have a seller questionnaire that we send out to the sellers that is given to anyone holding an open house. So we'll know what the seller knows about the house. Then we also require research of the neighborhood. We need to know neighborhood demographics. We need to know where the schools are. We need to know where the amenities are. How are you supposed to be a neighborhood expert if you don't know those things?
Wow.
So immediately, if you don't know those things, people aren't going to trust you. So we learn those things. Typically, we door knock before we hold the open house to let
Really?
people. Yeah, and it's not like, hey, we're doing an open house, come over. It's less aggressive than that. It's, hey, just want to let you know we're doing an open house, so there's probably going to be a lot more traffic in the neighborhood right during this time. If you don't like that kind of traffic, don't be there. But if you like open houses, come by and say hi. We'll show you what we do.
Can I stop here? So,
Yeah.
so this is cool. So first of all, a couple things, Katie, that I heard that are pretty cool. Number one, the questionnaire from the seller, understanding what's going on with the property.
Being available and what's known in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the neighborhood, understanding the neighborhood, the school zones, and really becoming very well versed on the property and the area itself. That was pretty cool. And then, because I don't know that a lot that happens all the time. I don't think that does. I think a lot of times they just, hey, can I sit your listing as an open house? Sure, go, and they go, right? They just go. So that's really, really cool. And then the other thing was, so you actually go out and you, like when you say you go out and door knock, like, is it like just the
50 houses?
How many?
50 houses, 25 on either side of the house.
25 to the right, 25 to the left, or across the street, or so it's 50 homes. Do you hand them something? Do you?
Yeah.
What do you
we
give?
have a little flyer, open house. Also has market stats on the back for the neighborhood.
Wow. Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So keep going. That's pretty awesome so far.
Okay,
So
great.
that's prep. Then we arrive 30 minutes before the open house, put out, typically we have pre-mapped out where we're going to have open house signs to make sure that we're getting the most amount of impromptu traffic. And then also we go there, turn on lights, unlock doors, open the windows, get everything ready to go. We have a custom scent, not custom, a preferred scent that we use, which is the white tea scent for our open houses. We have a playlist
Light tea.
open houses. So we make sure that everything is really bright and airy and open when people walk in. And also that when people walk in, they immediately go, oh, this is a more real estate group open house. Then we have strategies around what type of people that are coming in. So once the open house actually starts, when anyone comes in the house, I'm going to ask them 2 questions. And I got this from Ben Kinney. He said, they walk in, you say, hey, there's usually only 2 types of people that come into my open house. There's people that are qualified buyers that want to buy a house, and there's people that are interested in the price because they want to see how their house compares. Which one are you?
So that you literally say that to them.
Yeah. And then they tell you if they're a buyer or if they're a possible seller.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's great.
Maybe just a nosy neighbor, right?
Yeah, they could be a nosy neighbor. And if they're a nosy neighbor, that means that they're a possible seller.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Might not be right now, but that's all about follow-up. They get into my database and then they get care calls.
Nice.
So that's the strategy as we start. There's usually questions, right? I'll say, hey, do you have any questions before you start looking around? Most of the time people are going to say no. Say, great, open cabinets, open doors, treat this house like it's yours so you can really feel what it feels like to live in it. I'm going to be right here. My name's Sam. What's your guys' name? So give me names. Great. Have fun. I've tested out different things. We do a lot of open houses. And I found that people really, most of the time, don't like being followed around. So I make myself very available for them, but not in their face.
Gotcha. I heard a rumor too, Sam, and Katie, you'll find this interesting. You don't have them sign in. Or do you?
I don't.
You don't. So you don't have them sign it. You don't have them quote unquote register or sign. What's your thought behind that?
It depends. If the house is occupied and there's valuables in the house, we'll have people sign it.
Okay, gotcha.
That's an important thing, and we let them know, hey, I need you to sign in on this. The homeowner needs to know who's being in the house.
Sure.
During COVID, right? So we'll call you if we find out that someone was affected.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't want to immediately make the people, again, it's about trust, feel that the only reason that I'm there is for their info.
Got you.
I want to make sure, one, that I'm getting information of people that actually I need their information, but two, that they're comfortable giving it to me. So I let them walk around first. When they come back and I say, hey, what questions can I answer for you? And then when they ask questions, I'll answer the ones that I can and hopefully run into one that I don't have the answer for. But if I get about 3 questions in and they haven't really given me something I don't have the answer for, I'll just forget something conveniently and say, hey, you know what? That's a really good question. Let me get an answer for you on that. What's a great email to send that answer to?
Wow. Now okay. So
yeah.
You're getting information. You're just doing it in a very clever way.
It was a way where they want me to contact them.
Right.
I ask
right after requesting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ask right after that. I say, hey, typically I follow up my emails with a text to make sure you got it. What's the best phone number to text?
There you go.
That's usually the easiest way. And then at the end of it, I say, hey, what do you guys think? Is this your house? Are we going to make this your house today? If they say yes, we write the offer right there. If they say, you know what, this isn't quite the right house for me, so you know what, I'd like to learn what more is that you're looking for.
Yeah.
What more do you want in the house? What's the difference? Let me follow up with you later today. We'll check in and I'll see, if I can get you something. Our team does, 200 homes a year in this area. We have some off-market opportunities. How are you finding houses that aren't on the market right now? And again, people usually aren't finding houses that aren't on the market. Yeah. So say, if it's okay with you, when we have something that comes up that matches your criteria that I'm going to talk to you about later today, I'll send those over to you.
It's all just making so much sense now. Now I'm getting it. One thing we didn't address though was, and I'd like to, is how do you market the open house to let people know that there is an open house? What do you do there?
So we have the door knocking. We actually have someone that will circle call an area also. So usually we go a couple hundred houses with the circle call. That's our newer agents that we need to teach them how to have people be on the phone with them.
Gotcha.
And all different kinds of, phone calls.
Do you do like, social media advertising or newspapers or anything, or?
Yeah, so we don't do newspapers. We do social media. Obviously, we put it into the MLS, so it syndicates to all,
Correct.
Realtor. We do a significant amount of open house signs. So from any main cross street, and then signs all the way directly to the door.
I got to ask you, Sam, how much you did 23 in the past 12 months for 14 million. How much of that business do you think came from this particular strategy?
About 5%.
5%. So I was shocked. Katie, I was thinking he was going to go like 70%.
I was thinking higher too.
But okay, so 5%. All right, interesting. So where's all that? So let's. I don't want to ask right. We got it. And I know you said the other thing you do is you stay in touch with your database. And I know that's a future question coming up. But let's save that for that question coming up. So we'll explore that a little deeper when we get there. But right now, on question one, your favorite strategy is your open house strategy.
Yeah, that's for right now business.
Fantastic for right now business. I love it. What's the next question, Katie?
Do you have a niche that you use in your marketing? Niche. No, everybody says.
Yeah, like some people are like, I'm the horse property person, or I'm
the land lot lady.
Yeah.
So personally, the niche we use is our brand functionally for our team. My wife has a niche that I'm about to close $4 million worth of volume in one deal from this niche.
Wow.
And it is dog kennels.
Dog kennel.
Dog kennel. She runs
dog kennel as a niche.
Yeah. She runs
That's extremely niched.
It really is.
Very niched. And it's a market that isn't touched. And the people that typically have kennels don't know how to market them properly. They don't have a reach, or they don't have the know-how to understand what is good about a kennel and what's bad to market it to people that are trying to buy them. So my wife created Kennel Connect, which is a Facebook page and a website.
OMG.
To connect buyers and sellers. And she does it nationwide and just sends out referrals. But whenever they come this way, I get to do them. And thankfully, I've done a few kennels now and know how to run a kennel transaction. We know how to market it properly. So that's the super niche that we have that our team has access to. But functionally, we don't really, as a team, have any specific niche. Our marketing is more about bringing value to people and not about one specific type of people.
I'm stuck on the dog kennel thing. I guess there's a lot of dog kennels out there.
Well, there's a lot of dog lovers.
I know, you're right. What am I talking about? I'm obsessed with my dog.
Yeah.
So
he's not making, cat kennels. It's more of a dog person lover.
We call those catteries, by the way.
Catteries. See,
yeah,
I didn't.
You were wondering.
Oh, and I am absolutely putting in the sound effect. Okay, it probably already played, but I had to do that. So fantastic! What an interesting. We've never heard that.
No. There's only 3 other people that do anything like it in the United States.
Wow. What a trip. Well, that's very, very cool. I imagine it must have been kind of interesting, an interesting learning curve. Like, how do I?
It was for me. My wife's been in the dog business for like 20 years.
Okay, so it wasn't
for her. It was a very natural niche.
But what a cool what a cool thing to do. So she's not a realtor.
She is a referral agent. So she's a
referral agent, but she knew, and then to send them to you makes such good sense.
Yep.
I love it. Great answer, dude. Super cool. What's next, Katie? That was good. That was interesting.
All right. What's your favorite marketing method or platform?
Yeah.
Marketing method.
Calling people.
Phone call.
Phone calls.
Okay.
Yeah. Phone calls are just there's nothing better. You're gonna hear me say that to every question. If you aren't talking to people, you don't know how you can help them. And any kind of marketing, if we're doing events, typically the marketing that we do is for our events. Like we're going to have a derby party tomorrow, but it looks like it might get rained out. But we do a lot of client care events. We do a lot of community events. We do all of the Folsom Pro rodeos coming up. We host the Corral Club for that, which is what I would call the best seating. Any type of event we do, we're calling people. We're calling our friends. We're calling our family. We're calling people that have been involved in our team in any way. Allied Resources. You guys are invited, by the way. If you want to come up with Pro Rodeo, I got seats for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But that's what we do. We call people and we care about them and we love on them.
Hey man, and you might not have this numbers. Well, maybe you do because you got your other numbers so nailed down. But like, I mean, how many calls a day do you think you make, Sam?
You personally, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's so, there's intentional call time and then there's follow-up call time.
Okay.
So my intentional call time is in the morning between 9 and noon, and I do 2 types of calls for that. So the first call is going to be specifically generation calls where I'm trying to talk to new people in my database that I haven't followed up with in over a month, checking in, seeing how they're doing. I'm trying to get 25 contacts a day from that. That
Okay.
usually comes out for me. I have about a 60%, 40 to 60% answer ratio depending on the day. So I'm usually around 100 calls.
Okay.
Anywhere from 60 to 100 calls.
Okay.
Then I have pipeline follow-up after that, and that's specifically for people that I know need my help coming up within the next month. And those calls are usually 15, 20 dials.
Okay.
Make sure that those people are all moving forward towards their goals. After that, it's all agent follow-up and stuff, and I don't track the amount of calls that I make with that, but
It's a lot of calls.
way too many calls.
Awesome.
Do you have a system that you use when you like your CRM? What system do you use to make these calls?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
use
is
a
it-
system called Brivity.
What is it?
Brivity, Brivity.
And that's what you're dialing out of?
So you can dial out of Brivity. I personally like to just call from my cell phone.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Gotcha. Yeah. Because a lot of times people will use some sort of a dialer, especially if there's a stack of calls to make, like push the button, push the button,
Yes.
push the button, push the button. But you don't do that. You
calls, we use Mojo.
Mojo. I've heard Mojo many times.
Yeah, we'll pull our Brivity list into Mojo and then dial from Mojo. That is something that a lot of our agents do, especially if you're trying to call a huge amount of people from what we call it our pond. We have a 33,000 person database from locals. So we'll
Okay.
drag 200 or 300 of them into Mojo and have fun.
Speed dial. Yeah. Dial away. Okay. Good to know. Great. Awesome. Great answer, man. What's the next question?
All right. Can you share a specific example of a challenging transaction you navigated successfully and what you learned from that experience?
Yeah. Give us one that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening right now. And then, but you got through
To
it.
retire after a year.
Yeah. Like, I'll never do this
Right?
again. Why
I've had
didn't I
those.
just stay at my old job? Yeah.
So I would say there's one that stands out recently that it was challenging. The person was a great person, very, very engineer type, likes to read. It's the kind of person where when we did the purchase agreement, I was representing the buyer on this one. I literally read every line of it with her, which is great. I know it well and was able to help her through it, no problems. We got in contract. The comps around there were anywhere from 750 to 800. We got in contract at 680. Got our steal.
Wow.
And then when we got into contract, it was supposed to be as is. But I told her I recommended she get inspections. Like, you get inspections, you need to make sure
course.
there's nothing crazy.
Gotta look at it. Yeah.
And nothing crazy came back, but it was still, hey, we need to get this down. We're not, I'm not paying. I'm going to back out of the transaction. And we ended up negotiating it down more. But it was really hard because there was expectations that were set that were not followed. And I take that on myself that I didn't set them clear enough. That transaction was rough. The other side was emotional. The agent was great. The agent was fantastic to work with, but the sellers were emotional about it. It was an emotional sale for them.
Wow.
They were feeling slighted, and it was kind of a rough thing to go through the transaction. Once we got through the part of the inspections and we did negotiate the price down even more, it got a little bit smoother, but I would say that was pretty challenging to have to negotiate something that I didn't wholly believe in personally, but it's what my client believed in.
Got you.
So that was a rough.
And I understand what you're saying is like, you felt that the price that it was agreed upon, that's why that price was that price, because there's these things that were probably, if they were done or better, that would have been worth more. So you and the other agent and the other side was probably thinking that's why we offered it. We took your offer at this price. But then when the inspections came back, then she wanted to go down further,
Yes.
and that's what caused the issues.
Well, we were stealing it at the price that we got in contract for already.
Yeah.
Stealing it. And the inspections, there was not big things. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we should.
Yeah.
It was like, no, like it's a loose toilet. Like it's on every single inspection you're going to see. I warned you about this.
Right.
I warned you it was going to be on there. Like very, very minor things. But to the client, they were not minor.
Yeah. in the learning experience, what for someone who might be heading into this scenario right now, like, hey, well, I just put somebody in contract and they're getting a steal. What's the lesson learned? What should they do?
There's two big things, and this one of the things I've learned through all of my transactions, especially in the beginning, is setting expectations ahead of time. It's so important to let people know what to expect through contracts. Hey, this is what inspections are going to look like. This is how long you should expect a report to be. You know, you got a home inspection, it's going to be 100 pages. Don't be scared about that. You're just going to be money on the pest work. They're going to say something called dry rot. You might see termites, and that's totally okay. It's really normal. So you need to have those kind of conversations with people before they see them, so they're not scared when they do see them. I also would highly recommend going through all the inspections before you send them over to a client. I'm surprised the amount of people that just send over the inspections and say, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Being on your client's side is important for this. So that's one, expectations. Two, specifically for this transaction, is you need to always remember that you're your client's fiduciary. And that means, like for me in that situation, I didn't believe that they should have been personally asking for more money off. I was like, you're getting a great deal. You shouldn't be doing this. But that's not me. I'm representing my client, and that's what he wanted. So making sure to remember that you're the fiduciary and you need to do what's in their best interest, and you need to fight for their best interests.
Love it. Good stuff, brother. That's a good one. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. What else you got, Katie?
All right. Let's see. How do you stay organized and manage your time effectively?
Yeah.
Agents do that?
They try. They say they do.
Tell us. Okay?
I mean, I was on time, right? I was on time.
You were. You were.
There's a few things that I use. One, we use our CRM. Brevity keeps clients organized.
And what is it again? Brevity?
Brevity. Brivity.
Okay.
Like brevity, you can switch out the E and the I.
Okay. Brevity. Got it.
Brevity. Mm-hmm. So we use that for clients. I use Google Calendar. All our teams on the same, or not on the same calendar, but we're on the same system. So at any point in time, I can check other people's calendars. And then I heavily rely into my transaction coordinator and our client care coordinator. Mm. They're wonderful to be like, hey, Sam, by the way, did you remember that this needs to happen in the next 3 days because your contingency is due? I'm like, yeah, I did remember that.
Of course I did. As I'm writing it down, make sure I get this done.
The best thing that has helped me, though, and this was my coach recommended this idea to me, is whenever I have something coming up, I just set a timer beforehand. So as soon as I start a task, I look at the next task and when it's due. So I'll say, okay, I'm doing my lead gen. Okay. And then I'll finish that and I'll go on to my pipeline follow-up. And at the end of the pipeline follow-up, like, okay, at 12:30, I have a call. So pipeline follow-up starts at 11. I'll set a timer for an hour and 20 minutes. So that way, 10 minutes before my call, my timer goes off and I'm like, oh, time to go do this thing.
That's a good way to do it. That's smart thinking.
The timer's great.
Because the timer will go, bah, 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 bah. Like, what is this? Oh, that's right. I got it on. Because I have done that many times. I know exactly what you're talking about. You got something coming up and it's on the calendar, but you're neck deep into something and you get going and it just kind of slips your mind. Next thing you know, you're into that time zone where it's like, oh, I was supposed to be doing this right now or making that call. I've done that. So the timer's a good idea. I picked that up from you. That's good. Yeah. Tips from Sam Metteer. I like it. That's good, man. Awesome. Anything else on the staying on track, or pretty much wrap it up?
I mean, that's it. That's the best I got. I
nice.
Can't say that I'm always perfect about it, and that's probably my best area of opportunity to get better at things.
Got it. Good stuff. Excellent. Yeah. Great. Good stuff, man. What you got, Katie? What else?
All right. What's your favorite technology gadget? Do you have a favorite one that you?
Yeah. Besides the CRM, or I don't even know if that's a favorite or not. Is there a cloud-based thing that you like? You know what?
I don't really subscribe to all of the new gadgets here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing is my phone. It's literally everything you need in the palm of your hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the most useful tool.
Yeah.
Other than that, I would say maybe not a gadget specifically, but I have Apple laptop, Apple phone, Apple Watch, and having all of those things that are syndicated together.
Yeah.
To where I can answer texts on any of them, I can answer calls on any of them. So if I'm doing something, whatever it is, it's all together. Like, I can go from texting my phone, definitely not while I'm driving, and get out of my car and go into my house, pop on my laptop, and the answer's sitting there on my laptop, and then I can start just typing out text.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the most handy things, is having all of those things together working simultaneously.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about it, but it's true. I naturally have that going on as well, and I do appreciate it. I do like it. Yeah. Good stuff. Awesome. What else you got,
All right.
Katie?
Next question. Ready? How do you stay top of mind with your database?
Oh yeah, you're touching on this on the very first question. We thought, well, we'll cover it, and you had your what would you call it? Your short term money, or what would you say that for the open house?
Short term business.
Short term business.
Right now business.
Right now business. And
right
then
now
this,
business.
and then what's this now for your database? What is that?
Database is care calls. So minimum standard is talk to everyone in your database 4 times a year, once a quarter.
Okay, once a quarter.
That's minimum standard. When we are doing that, the concept is to find out what they need and why they need it. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing in your life? I'm doing this. Awesome. Make sure to take notes. Whatever their life is, they're going on vacation, they're having a kid, they're getting married, they're changing careers, maybe lots of different stuff. Take notes on that and figure out if a quarterly follow-up is still going to be good enough for them to make sure that you're going to be able to take care of them how they need to be taken care of. And if not, then we'll change plans a little bit. We have a couple different what's called auto plans or smart plans that will tell us when to follow up with those people again. We already have the notes in the CRM, so you can be like, oh yeah, I did talk to this person. Oh yeah, they were going to Germany. Let's ask how Germany was. But they did say when they were coming back from Germany, they might want to sell their house because they might move to Germany. Great. So in that time, we'll go, well, I'll find them a great agent in Germany. And I'll also check in and see how the Germany trip went. But that'll happen in a month. So I make sure that while we're doing our normal check-ins, we're also creating and finding the opportunities to do other check-ins to make sure that they always know that you're there for them. And also having conversations that lead to real estate, which is surprisingly easy to do. Typically, you just ask people how their job's going, and they ask you how yours is going.
Yeah, good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you just check in with them, and as long as they know that you're the person that cares about them, most people are going to call you when they need you. It's very rare that you're going to call someone and you'd be like, "Hey, do you need to sell your house today?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
But if you're always the person that has checked in on them and cared for them, they're going to call you when that idea does come up because you're the only agent that's been checking in on them.
Nice. Do you do anything else beyond the calls with your past client database? Do you do an email drips or mailers?
We have monthly emails that we do, and we have the big client events. So those are the things. Like I said, the Derby Party is past clients and VIP only. VIP for us are people that give us multiple referrals a year. So we do Derby parties and New Year's parties, and we do a Thanksgiving thing for all of our vendors. So we do things that we get to be face-to-face with people.
Yeah.
Again, because that's the way you build trust. And everyone sends out texts. Everyone posts on social media. Not a surprising amount of people don't just call and say hi.
Right. I know. You know us. Well, you know us, Sam. We're big on the phone. Yeah. But God, that's awesome. Non-negotiable items. That's super cool. And Katie, I find it interesting that the other titans that we've spoken to, that the client events, client parties are always in that mix. Yeah. Is that they're always in the mix. Surprisingly, look, hey man, I've been in the loan side of things for 35 years. I've never done a client get together type of a thing. I've just never even conceived it.
That's not true.
No, I haven't. What have I done?
We did it one time. We had a barbecue out at Green Valley Mortgage. And
we did?
Painting for the kids. It was like a 4th of July thing. It was the one time we've ever
Apparently,
done it.
I've done it once, Sam.
You invite people to podcasts.
I invite people to podcasts, yeah.
You're doing it.
Did we do that, Katie?
We did. I got pictures of it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You know what? We should do that more often.
We should.
Because, Sam's doing it and his team and all these other, Titan agents are doing it. We should do it more often. I'm glad to know we did do it.
Yeah, we did. Hey, Sam, how often do you do these? You said you call your agent or your clients once a quarter, but how often are you having these events?
So we try to do like 5 to 6 events a year.
Wow, that's a lot.
We have our own events, but we'll, can't remember the word I'm looking for, but we'll attach ourselves to community events as well and market for the community events.
That's clever.
That's our event, but we're sponsoring it. There's a golf tournament for, it's to support the local police officers. Mm-hmm. So we have a hole there that we sponsor, and we have, stuff that we give out and do pictures and gifts and stuff like that. So anytime we get an opportunity to be there, the Relay for Life, we sponsor that one when it's up here. There's just a lot of stuff, so we're going to attach ourselves to it. And then we have our big events.
Gotcha.
I was going to ask you this. So there has to be a lot of team coordination in 5 to 6 events, whether they're your own events or tagging onto a community event. And you mentioned also when you're doing the open house strategy, the way that you guys approach that is so much more detailed. Do you have team? How does obviously this can only be done with a team, right?
Yeah.
Sam? I mean, because you've got people that are like, even just to plan an open house, that doesn't happen the day before.
Right.
No.
Like how far in advance do you start planning this next open house, or and then with the other events, how is there a committee that gets together and lays out the year and basically says this is everything that's going to happen this year, and
Like a
everybody
party
starts
thing?
rallying around that somehow? I mean, it seems like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. So we have our founders that founded the team. That's Brian Martell, Ricky O'Neill, and Shelby Ryburn. That's the M, the O, and the R in our more real estate group.
Got it.
So they do a lot of that work when it comes to the ideas. And then we have our client care coordinator. We have our director of operations. And those people work hand in hand to kind of make sure things happen. But as they need help and they need leverage, they'll leverage it out onto the team agents. Hey, we need someone to go pick up these tables. Hey, we need someone to, get tablecloths or pick up this food or do this. Our team has an extremely strong culture of being there for everyone. So it's really typically pretty easy to get anything that needs to be covered because we're all here to help each other.
Like it. How many people are on the team total, including the founders?
I think we're at 23 now.
Oh, you got a good sized team, but most of them are agents, but the management of it is how many? The 3 founders and then the two others, or?
So each one of the founders has actually 2 of the founders have an executive assistant.
Okay.
Then we have director of growth, we have client care coordinator, we have a transaction coordinator, we have director of operations.
So
that's
5 others, and then the 3 plus 2 of them have assistants. So there's a big team behind this. It's good.
Yeah.
Do you, and I know this is off script, Katie, but I just want to ask:
Okay.
Is that why you joined them?
The team was not that big when I joined them. I'm
Okay.
actually the first agent that came on when they became the more real estate group.
Really?
Yeah, they rebranded 3 years ago. And they had a team before that was in the Folsom area that was very successful in the Folsom area, but having the opportunity to bring on Shelby Ryburn, who is a powerhouse of an agent, but even more a powerhouse of a person, was exactly what they wanted to do. So I think I lost the question.
I know. I'm wondering why you joined them. What possessed you?
I joined them. So I actually, Brian Martell, the M, used to teach real estate classes. And my wife took a class from him and was like, hey, Sam, you might want to do this. And so I went and took a class also and loved it and was like, yeah, I might want to do this. And Brian actually referred me to Shelby Ryburn, who was opening a team up in the Rockland area. Brian covered Folsom. And while I was interviewing with Shelby, she goes, hey, how would you feel about joining with Brian? So that's how I ended up on the team. The reason I joined the team, though, was 100% culture. I am a person that functions the best in a team, and I love supporting people. I love helping people grow. I love being there to watch and help others succeed. And that is what everyone on our team is like. Mm. And culture is more important than anything, in my opinion, when it comes to any business. If you don't have a culture where the people on the team love each other and support each other, your business is not going to do well. Your clients, your customers, whatever business it is, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel that contention in your team. And what happens with our team is they feel love and family. So that is why.
Are you guys looking for more team members?
We are.
Okay.
We actually have a goal to hire at least 12 agents a year. We have a 3-tiered hiring process, and then once you get through those 3 first interviews, then you get interviewed by the whole team.
Wow.
It's intimidating.
That must be intense.
I was gonna say that does sound intimidating.
Yeah. It's like a panel.
Just take me.
It's interesting because it's very obvious really quickly when you get into the team interview whether or not you are a culture fit. The first 3 interviews are kind of paper stuff. That's our director of growth goes through that, and she's also very keen on who people are and how they function. Very rarely does someone get to the group interview that isn't a fit, but if they do, it comes out quick. So we protect the culture really strongly, but we're always looking for people that are like our minds, that are there for the customers, they're there for the clients, they're there for each other, and they want to go to the moon and beyond.
Nice. What a great team. Yeah, awesome. What's the last? We're down to the last stuff, aren't we, Katie? Where are we
Down
at?
the last few, yeah. What advice would you give to new or average producing agents looking to increase their success in the industry?
I would say the first thing is know your numbers.
Okay.
But if you don't know your numbers, you have no idea where you're going or what you're doing. So my advice would be to decide what a perfect life is going to look like for you 10, 15 years down the line, 20 years. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Not like, oh, I want $1 million, but like, do you want to be married? Do you want kids? What do you want to do in your life? What do you want your day-to-day life to look like? What do you want your vacations to look like? What do you want your clothes to look like? What do you want your car to look like? Think about those things. What's that life going to cost? And what kind of person that's living that life, who is that person going to be? Do you want to be that person? Do you want to be the person that wakes up at 5 a.m., goes and exercises, then goes and does all of his work before noon, and then goes out and does stuff? Like, what life do you want? When you understand that life, you can kind of start working backwards. Okay, well, that's what I want. Here's where I am. How am I going to get there? And numbers are the thing. So for us, like I said, I try to make 25 contacts a day. That's the goal. That is because I know my conversion ratios. I know that I want to do 35 units this year. I know that it takes me approximately 36 getting into transactions. I have a little bit of a follow ratio, not a ton, but a little bit.
Sure, it happens. Yeah.
In contract. To get one in contract, I need to set 3 appointments. To set 3 appointments, I need to make about 100 calls. To make 100 calls in a week, I need to do 25 a day because I work 4 days a week for calls. Right. And I know that those calls, I have to make about 100 dials to get those contacts. So it's all easy numbers. You just break it down backwards, and then you know exactly what you need to do. And as an agent, if you're just running around and you're struggling with breaking through a ceiling, just figure out what numbers you need to make happen. Most of the time, it just means that you need to be more intentional with your actions.
Yeah. Good stuff. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. And I'm assuming if they wound up joining you at your team, you guys could help them through that process a little bit.
Yeah, that is part of the process of getting hired is the life process of what you want your life to look like. They break it down. And then we have a coach. Our director of growth is also what's called the MAPS coach, which is a very high level coach for Keller Williams. And she goes through it all with us. Hey, this is what your numbers, this is what you want, this is what you need to hit, this is the activities that you need to take to make sure that you're going to hit those goals. We do have minimum requirements on our team of 24 units a year. So that's
pretty good. It's pretty awesome. Awesome stuff and a killer answer, brother. Really good. What's left, Katie?
Well, let's see. The second to last one is, what areas are you currently serving? So what areas are you in?
So personally, I serve areas I've lived in. Like I said, I like to be a neighborhood expert, and it's a lot easier to be an expert on places that you've lived in. Thankfully, I grew up in the area, so I've lived all over the place. So I serve tri-counties, which is going to be Sac County, Placer County, El Dorado County, and I'll touch parts of Nevada County. Okay. Every once in a while, for referrals or good friends, I'll go to Yolo County. But that's usually the areas I serve. My highest volume areas are going to be Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Rockland, Roseville, Loomis.
Okay, good to know. And
All
then
right.
finally,
And what's the best way for someone considering buying or selling a home in your area that you serve to reach you?
let me guess, your phone.
Weird. That is the best way to reach me.
Now, what's the number, man? How do they reach you?
Yeah, tell us the
They
number.
reach me 530-613-1914.
Awesome.
Yep,
Fantastic.
that's the way. Call or text.
Sam, you are truly a Titan, my friend. Thank you so much for being on this interview. It was fantastic. I got a lot out of it. I learned some stuff.
Great answers. Yes.
Great answers. And
I
just for
appreciate the opportunity.
awesome. And just for those of you that are watching, if any of you happen to be real estate agents, don't forget Katie and I are with Texana Bank Lend in all 50 states, on-time closings, superior communication, and unprecedented follow-up. Give us a call at 707-220-1444, and we'd love to work with you. And with that, we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Sam, it was a pleasure, man. Looking forward to having lunch with you here one of these days pretty quick, and maybe coming to one of your events and hanging out with you. And round of applause for you, man, and all your success, and just really looking forward to staying in touch with you, having you back on again and talking about some other stuff, if that's cool. Is that cool?
I look forward to it.
All right, then we'll go ahead and get on out of here from the Real Estate Titans podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Adios. What's the joke? Let's hear it.
What do you call an indecisive bee?
An indecisive bee?
An indecisive bee. What would you call an indecisive bee?
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
I like it.
On a scale of 1 to 5, Sam, what do you think about that joke?
I prefer.
And I do want you to know Katie's bonus is reliant upon this.
No, I give it a 4, 4.5.
A 4.5, not bad. A
No,
maybe.
it's a good one. A maybe.
A maybe.
Clean, simple, sweet, you know.
Do I have to give you jokes back?
No, but you can if you want. Do you got one?
What do you call a nosy pepper?
What?
Jalapeno business.
All up in your business. All up in your business. I love it. That was a good joke. Wow, bonus. We got a joke from Sam too. That was great.
Hey,
For the
I'm
people
here
that
for you.
this far into the podcast, congratulations. Just got
You're
two.
welcome. Take that with you.
Just got 2 winners. All right. We'll see you guys later.